So there's this noise in the background. Hi, Aries. And I don't think it's going to be too disruptive, so I'm just going to go for it because it's a car and it just won't stop. Though I don't think you can really hear it. So, and it's just where I live, so just got to go for it, you know? Which is essentially what your reading is about. This thing, the thing for you in Aries or in Cancer season is that it's perfect for you to do anything that you've been wanting to try, do anything that you want to do. You're going to be completely supported more than anything. And especially if it's like something you really love and you really want to keep working at, even gaining recognition for, even more work for. Anything that you feel really creative about and you feel very called to put out there or even start. So maybe you're putting some things out there and then also working on things behind the scenes, whatever that means to you. It's important to do right now. For you, it makes sense to do things in Cancer season where you can put yourself out there and in any kind of way, creatively or even in romantic relationships, and it's going to be received very personal like you are. And it's important that you not hold back. But remember that because you're so passionate, the way it can be taken is a little more aggressive than you really mean it. So just have that in your mind. Though this is really about that you're not so much communicating this month, unless it's with people that it's necessary to talk to. Or that's advised here even, especially if you plan on being and going out more, but we'll get more in the cards about that. But because everything you do has a vulnerability to it already, that again in Cancer season it's just so much more supported. So anywhere where you are even holding yourself back or fighting yourself, just know that if you were fighting yourself or holding yourself back, it was just not the right time. Sometimes we forget that as humans, we like to think that we can control certain things, and time is one thing we just can't. We have the experience in between times, or you go to work so you have set times for different things, but for your times for yourself, and not pushing yourself to do more than you can at certain times in your life is really important. Or knowing how to navigate, like when you feel like working or when you feel like playing or when you feel like doing this, or when something keeps coming up to the forefront, you have to take care of it. And even though you're such a personal human and you seem to appear only as yourself, there are times where you still need space from certain situations, environments, even from being expected to be this always fiery, passionate person all the time. Now it's more like you're honing it into this specific area, so it's not being expended everywhere. And that's kind of what Cancer season is directing at you. Excuse me, my ear is a little itchy. It's directing you, we've been talking about this a lot, but now it's like, it's the perfect time to try things and know that you don't take it as failure. It's like, oh, it's just this thing didn't work out. Like just going with where the hair is placed and going with it and saying, okay, I can utilize this, go with that, see where it takes you. Instead of trying to dictate the outcome, just like keep going like you normally do. Because I think for some of you who have been doing something creative or have been in a certain place for a while now, you're getting so much more intuitive with your structure. You're getting so much more of a handle on knowing. You're getting a handle on knowing that you have to take a hand off sometimes. And that's not hard for you. It's just that when you love something and you care about it, same thing with like people, you are so direct and clear, and you can be unfiltered, which is what makes you you. It's just that now all of that energy, even though there will be different pulls outside of yourself to go one way or the other, your energy is very connected to you valuing your time right now. And the best way you can do that is by putting it into whatever you're working on and putting it into yourself in a way that is saying it without saying too much. You're just doing it. And this month it's great for you to do just that. And it's because you've had to be upfront with yourself about certain things before this season. And because you were able to do that, now you're really getting, it's like Aries season with a twist for you, because it's not a fire season, but because Venus will go into Leo and Mars is already in Leo, you still feel that the ignition. And it can cause you to become way more committed to being even more clear and even more direct. It's about committing to something that by doing what you need to do and putting your energy there, you're saying and communicating to the universe, you're communicating to God, Source, the Creator, that this is what you want. Waterfall, Ace of Cups, the bottom of the deck. That's simple communication that you're laying out. Therefore, your actions are speaking outwardly to other people. If there are people who want your attention, you can simply just say, hey, listen, like my energy needs to go here right now. It's not that I don't love you, because in Cancer season, it could feel that way. So the more that you share what your new way of valuing yourself and your time is, even though, like, if you're making a schedule for yourself, if you're working on your own or working on side things, you know the process, and you know how quick things can go once you're very clear and committed to something, and to everything that comes with it. All the obstacles, all the whatevers, they're just challenges for you, and you don't mind a challenge. It's not a problem. And you've learned something about, and if this is a romantic relationship, then you're very direct and clear in communicating to this person that, like, I know my value, I know what I want. If you want the same thing, cool, we can move on from here. But if we keep having the same conversation about a thing we both want, and yet we're not working towards it, then I need to know. Because you have been through enough moments in your life with, it doesn't have to just be with romantic partners, but enough moments in your life where it's not enough to have it look like it's happening. I need words. I need to be able to express myself both with my words and how I feel and my actions, because when I'm all in, I'm all in. And if that's how you are and that's how you feel, it's important to be able to express that to someone that you're wanting to create a family with, and to share that and to show that and know that that's not holding on to something that can hurt you. Ultimately, that's letting go, and that's holding on to the value that I need to know the truth. I need you to be very clear with me right now, and vice versa. And it doesn't have to be in a way where judgment can look aggressive, because it's like, hey, I'm talking, listen. And because you're so capable and so in this place of being focused, it comes out in a way that's so much easier to understand. And even if the person or the situation, people involved don't understand that, you don't have the extra energy to explain it. You're just going to do it. And that's what they'll respond to. And it's also communicating, I know what I want. I know what I want now. I know where I want to go. I know what's been held on to about, especially in terms of family, because Cancer is about home and about family. And by the new moon, you'll become even more clear, and it'll become more clear to you by what you start to even receive by then. If it's words, if it's confirmation, if it's something that ends or something that ends and then begins again. It's very possible that you talk about marriage and long-term and traditional things by the end of the month with someone who you're having this moment, this situation with. For work, it's more about you being very clear and about what you want, and knowing that the vulnerability of putting something down, a certain, maybe even like an armor about you, and letting go of a certain layer about you so that you can get to the point this month. So in the beginning of the month, it's all about you and getting yourself to commit to this, what you've continued to commit to, and have a lot of fun with it. Because the Knight of Swords upside down with the Five of Swords is this non-reaction to something, to a situation that is happening. And Aries, to be real, you're known to be you can be dramatic, you can be aggressive, you can be very passionate. And I'm not saying those in negative ways, it's just that that's a part of your characteristics and what makes you you, and that's Mars. It's getting ready for war, like all the time. And now it seems as though you're putting yourself in a position where when there is cause for you to be reactive, you are able to then refocus yourself, knowing that there is a goal you want to get to, and even asking yourself, what do I need to do or know or even release in this moment to get there? And usually, like, as someone who is very direct and clear, that message will be very, quickly reciprocated, or you'll be responded to with like a thought or a situation that will show up and be like, and if you think about that question, that's what it is, So this month is very clear. And Cancer season is coming in with the very motherly, listen to me, I know what I'm talking about energy with every single sign. So the way this is unfolding is that you can get caught if you don't start the month off by doing what you need to do, because it can get you stuck instead and cause you to reverse that. So when you start the adventure this month, when you start and you have that feeling of like, if you're feeling frustrated or that energy where that can get you like to the point where you need to become angry in order to make something happen, which is, just in like parts of passion too. It just feels like this overwhelming thing that you just like need to talk about or express or feel or share. It's directing that towards how would that make you, where can you put that energy to make you feel your best? Like where can that be used the best? And it'll become very clear to you very quickly each time. And lots of love. Just be prepared to also receive a lot on the other end of this. Yeah. Looking at the cards always gives even more perspective. So we'll look at the cards. Information to work with me one-on-one is below, and the extended reading. So I do even more clarification of the cards going into this month, and a little more into the future on Patreon, and that link will be below as well. The artist for the painting, her link for her Instagram will be below. And I'll see you next month, Aries. All right, Aries. I know it's a little dark, but I did it on purpose because in the beginning of the month, it's going to feel dark a little bit. You're going to be a little more vulnerable than you usually are. Because it's vulnerable in a way that's like very much like attention is on you. And you feel that, so it can make it easy for you to either make that attention turn in like a negative way or try to fight it off. And it's not that you're someone who doesn't like attention. It's just that there's a discipline that now comes with where you're headed and all the creation, feeling good and doing good and turning all of this friction into creation. You may also have a lot of love for someone that you want to share with them that this month. And it seems to be very mutual. And it's even like it grows louder even. And there's also parts with you where you need to give yourself space and time in your busy schedule. The end of the month will slow down a little bit more, but only a little bit more for you. And so in that schedule where you're doing this and going here and going there, or if it's just like this time and energy you put into everything in your life, if it's not something new, it's something that's already been there. It's not like your own business, but you're in something else and things are growing or working for someone, you're going to be noticed for very positive change and very positive things. And there's a point where this feeling falls over you to then express certain things, and you're going to be listened to no matter what. And life, God, the Creator, is also saying to you, you need to make and commit that time to yourself to keep this going, because it's for longevity now. And it's going to stay quick for a while for you. It might dip down a little bit here and there, but mostly fast pace, and you need to be your best. And it's funny because, so I always talk about emotional health being the key, the link. And for you, it's living out of your heart is always the most important, but then expressing it to yourself in the ways that you need it are really important. Because even if you feel all this goodness and all these different things, Cancer season is still wanting you to relax and find that space. Because when you're doing and moving and using all of this energy, you still need to give yourself a moment, especially if you're in this relationship where things are blossoming, things are moving quicker, lots of feelings, lots of mutual feelings. This person's also in the same place you are, maybe even, where you both need space. You both need to be with yourself just as much as you need to do all these other things. So maybe it's even a mutual commitment within the commitment and a discipline to it. And I say that because longevity needs discipline. You have the passion, you have the fire, you have the energy, you know what to do. And now it's very clear that the way you did things in the past with a love interest or a partnership is you didn't state what you needed from the get-go. And it's maybe not what you may have needed. It may ultimately have been your like need deep down, but there are certain times where like you almost innately know that it is what you need, but you don't want to have it just yet. And it sounds weird, but I know what you're saying. And now it's the commitment. So yeah. So now you realize where and how you fucked up, how that relation, and just to put it simply, it's like it was a mutual thing, but there was something on your end where something happened quickly, something ended quickly, and you almost hold on to it. And you may find that even another mutual thing happens with this person where you reconnect. So whether it's your partner now or someone who just comes back in your life and you like just talk about the situation and all of a sudden things dissolve and move forward, Cancer season is very much that, where just like Mercury retrograde, Cancer season is going to bring up certain things to dissolve them, to dissolve of them, and see if you can move through them. And now you get that chance to, because you do want the longevity and you're telling yourself that, and now you're seeing what you're holding on to, or what has been held on to, even just in the realm of relationships. So it might not just be like, it's you personally for sure, but it's also just specifically in this area and very prominent in this area. So now you, fiery, passionate, loving human, has this very grounded energy that is able to express things directly, because last month you weren't trying to express anything. This month, the people that you love and the people you're close to and the people that are committed to you and vice versa, because yes, our partners are committed to us, but it's also the support we have in our life, the friendships. What do those look like? How do you build, like, what is that to you? And there's this mutual thing that now takes care of all these past situations. So a part of medicine is also being able to know that when a certain situation comes up or a cycle comes up, and some that are been longer played out than others, mostly, begin to lose their energy and eventually dissolve. They never truly go away, and that's a deeper conversation, but they dissolve their charge when you become neutral. And so you're becoming way more neutral when it comes to putting your ego and needing to prove. And it's not about proving a point anymore. It's about just proving yourself to yourself in a way that's, I don't need to prove myself, I'm doing it. I'm doing the things, I'm saying the things, I'm being myself. I'm doing my life. I'm saying what I want. I am directing it. And I know for the past year or so, it may not have felt that way, but now there's such a connection with spirit more than ever with you that it's like just a lot. And it's beautiful. And the way that you once thought about family is changing. The way you once held on to a certain structure of family is changing. And you're now seeing why you needed to create strong boundaries, why you needed to change and move and say things straight out. Say the necessary things straight out. Yeah, your extended's going to be amazing. I love you. I'll see you next month. All the information is below. Aries, Cancer season. Fire.